All right, our last comma rule is abbreviated APP, but is the appositive rule. And I want to just point out that the appositive rule is very similar to the non-essential rule. In fact, you really aren't going to be asked to distinguish between the two. Kind of think of it as an extension of the non-essential rule. So appositives are, that's the first thing we have to understand, is a noun or another pronoun placed beside another noun or pronoun that helps identify or explain it. Again, very similar to non-essentials, but we're talking about nouns and pronouns in this case. Now remember, a noun is a person, place, thing, or an idea. A pronoun is a word that replaces a person, place, thing, or idea. So I could say he, she, it, or they. Those are all pronouns. When we have an appositive, we need to separate it from the rest of the sentence if it is not essential, meaning it is not required to understand the meaning of the sentence. To understand what I just said, let's take a look at an example. Miss MD, the teacher, is famous for telling jokes. So we're going to look at this sentence and we're first going to say this part, the teacher. Let's just throw it out for a minute. Miss MD is famous for telling jokes. We all understand what that sentence is and the meaning behind that sentence. Miss MD, the teacher, is famous for telling jokes. Is this part essential to the rest of the sentence? It's really not. It doesn't change the meaning of the sentence, and it doesn't help to emphasize the meaning of the sentence in any way. It's just another descriptor. We know this isn't a positive because we have Miss MD, a noun, a person, and right next to that, we have teacher, which is also a noun, which makes this a positive. So we have essentially two nouns or pronouns placed by each other, one describing or adding information to the other. So I'm just adding information that Miss MD is the teacher here. However, that information that I've added is not essential. So that extra noun, not essential to the rest of the sentence, meaning I have to offset it with commas. Miss MD, comma, the teacher, comma, is famous for telling jokes. And yes, I am. Let's take a look at some more. Just like non-essentials, commas are not needed if the information is essential or needed for specificity. If we need to be able to, if we take out that information and it changes the meaning or we're not clear on the meaning, then it's essential. Take a look at this example. My friend Tamisha lost her wallet. Okay, as it says here, it's assumed I have more than one friend. Therefore, I need to clarify who that friend was so someone doesn't think it was Bill or Bob or one of my other friends. So the commas in this case aren't essential or not necessary for me to put in because this information right here is essential. It's needed. If I only had one lone friend, Tamisha, and everybody knew that, then I could put commas here. All right, but that's just too confusing. I don't. I have several friends. And because I need to distinguish that and make this essential, I need to put a comma there. Let's take a look at a practice. Like before, pause the video or wait for the quiz in order to determine whether commas are needed. Dr. Okamo, the PTA president, asked parents to become active. All right, we take a look at this sentence and we have this phrase, the PTA president. And this phrase right here, ask yourself, is it necessary to understand that Dr. Okamo asked parents to become active? It doesn't necessarily matter that he is the PTA president. It does help identify who he is. We also know that the PTA president is a noun and Dr. Okamo is a noun. So we have that makes this the appositive rule. But looking at this, we can say this phrase right here really isn't essential to the rest of the sentence. We can assume there's only one PTA president, and all it does is identify it. So as a result, we do need commas. We would need to say Dr. Okamo, comma, the PTA president, comma, asked parents to become active. So again, looking at this rule, this phrase, the PTA president, it's a noun that identifies Dr. Okamo, but it is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. Therefore, it needs commas to offset it from the rest of the sentence. And that is your appositives rule.